What's going on, everybody? It's Baseball Juice. In today's video, we're going to be taking you guys through our predictions for the major awards in both the American League and the National League. We're also going to be giving you guys our dark horse for each pick. This is going to be one of our higher level baseball videos. If you guys enjoy our sillier content, feel free to check out the Pictionary we released last week. Without further ado, let's get into it. Whoa. All right, Kyle. If you want to start us off with your pick for American League MVP.
I think we can all agree here that there's probably three guys that don't need a whole lot of introduction, and you can't really go wrong with any of these. My selection for American League Most Valuable Player is Mike Trout. He's the best player in baseball. I'm just hoping pretty much for a fully healthy Mike Trout, and I'm hoping he does Mike Trout things. Kind of expecting a monster comeback year from him. Does anyone else have Mike Trout for him?
Oh, I did, and for my reasoning, all I said was the king reclaims his throne to win MVP number 4. Enough said.
Yeah. Exactly. We all know it's not a surprise anymore. He's back.
Right. All right, Nick, let's hear who you picked.
Little surprise here. I'm going to go with his teammate and 2021 MVP, Shohei Ohtani. When you play both sides of the ball at the level that he did last year, I just feel like the only way he's not going to win again is if he has a serious regression in one of the two sides of the ball, and I just don't really see that happening. 158 OPS plus, so he's 58% better than the average hitter. He had a 141 ERA plus, meaning 41% better than the average pitcher. Also, he hit 40-something bombs.
I was scrolling through the highlights yesterday of some spring training games, and Shohei Ohtani received a first pitch curveball and took it deep to start a game off. How many dudes are sitting on an off-speed pitch first pitch and are able to hit it out? It was just unreal.
He's doing something that no one else on the planet is doing. And I think for that reason, it's completely reasonable to have him as an MVP.
100%. Outside of Brett Phillips, there's nobody else capable of repeating his performance.
Don't give away my dark horse pick, Sam. Come on.
No, I love that pick. That's a great pick, Nick. Jacob, let's hear who you had.
I went with Vlad Guerrero Jr. I do think that Vlad Guerrero Jr. is going to be benefited by being on a team that's right in the middle of the AL pennant race. Talking about improvement at the plate, I mean, he's a 22-year-old, put up a 1. OPS last year. I think he improves on that. He's also a guy who could put up a 7 WAR, but on a better team, and he's a new face.
In my opinion, he is the best hitter in baseball. Him and Juan Soto, probably the top 2 in that conversation. And I honestly think it's pretty close. They're about the same age, too. And Vlad's power, his plate discipline, I mean, you can go down the entire list, and he's got it.
He's got every tool at the plate to be successful in every situation.
Let's go ahead and move on to our dark horse pick for the American League MVP. Kyle.
For this pick, I tried to go outside the top 3 because really it wouldn't be a surprise to any of us if any of these guys won it. So I picked a guy that is certainly capable of putting together an MVP-like season, and one that could probably rival these top 3. He just hasn't done it yet. And that is Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins. A guy that put up 4.5 WAR over 61 games last year, which if you stretch that out to 162, that's like a 12 WAR season. I think if he did that, he'd probably take home the MVP, and he's flashy enough to win the votes. You know, he's got the defense in center field, he's got the speed, he's got the power, and on top of that, he's coming into his 28-year-old season. If he's able to put it all together and stay on the field, definitely capable of taking home the MVP.
Nick, who was your dark horse pick for American League?
The guy I'm going to end up going with is Jose Ramirez. And really, it's a shame that he even has to be on the dark horse candidate list because he is an absolutely elite player. Massive power, above average defense. He's not necessarily elite there, but he's definitely good enough. The other thing is he really doesn't strike out. With his speed and the fact that he doesn't strike out so much, that can lead to a lot of pressure on the defense. Overall, I think he's an elite player and he's really not talked about enough.
Hands down, best third baseman in the game. There's actually a base running metric, BSR. Jose Ramirez has posted the best BSR rating since 2018 of every player in Major League Baseball. There is an excellent argument for him to be a top 5 player, and he's currently like the 8th best odd to win MVP in the American League. It doesn't compute at all.
In terms of the general media, no one talks about Jose Ramirez, which probably will hurt an MVP case, which is probably why he's Nick's dark horse pick. But in terms of pure baseball talent, certainly capable of putting together an MVP season.
If you guys haven't checked out our tier list and ranking video, definitely go check that out. Jacob and I I ranked all of the third basemen in the league, and I think Jose Ramirez was the easiest player to place out of that entire list because he's so far and above the best at that position and one of the best in all baseball. So I think that's a great pick, Nick. All right, let's go ahead and get into Jacob's dark horse.
I went with Alex Bregman. The main reason being excellent plate discipline. Combine that with the fact that he has bulked back up to his 2019 size. I don't know if you guys know this, but after 2019, he lost 20 pounds. His ceiling with that size is something around 40 home runs, a 1.0 OPS while playing well above average defense at third base and being an above average base runner. And to me, that's enough to warrant a solid MVP case. When he's right, he's the only guy who can challenge Jose Ramirez as being the best third baseman in baseball.
And he's got the advantage of playing for the Astros. They're always ahead of the game in terms of behind the scenes stuff.
They for sure can make other pitchers look like trash.
Hey,
We'll go ahead and get back on track here. I'll take you guys through my dark horse. I really tried to think outside the box for this, but I chose Corey Seager. 350 at bats last year. He posted a 3.7 WAR. I think if he can hit like he did during the Dodgers World Series run in the 2020 playoffs, potentially carry the Rangers to a playoff appearance, I think he might find himself in the MVP race at the end of the year.
Let me throw out a couple other names because I expected at least one person to pick this person. Wander Franco.
To answer your question, he's too good to be a dark horse, but not quite good enough to be like there yet.
Yeah. We're expecting big things from Wander Franco, and I hope that he fulfills on that. Watch out, guys. All right, moving into my NL MVP, because this segues quite nicely. I have a 22-year-old, or a 23-year-old.
Yeah.
His name is Juan Soto.
As do I.
me too.
Wow, I'm the only guy that didn't.
It's basically his award to lose at this point. It's like, where do you even start when you're talking about him? And then maybe it's the second place finish last year when he was 22. Maybe that's a good place to start. I think the most talented hitter that I've seen in my lifetime. His plate discipline rivals Barry Bonds, and all he can do is hit. He's put that on display on the biggest stage in 2019 when he led the Nationals to a World Series ring. The fact that he is the favorite to win MVP at 23, just mind-blowing.
I agree. I think that's a great pick, and it speaks volumes that all three of you guys chose him to just how good and dominant he is at the plate. And his defense improved quite a bit last year, too.
He just walks. He just walks, man.
He just walks.
He led the league in OBP last year as a 22-year-old. There's no reason to think that his eye isn't going to get better with experience. He could legitimately have Barry Bonds level walk numbers at some point in his career.
It's because that when he does swing and when he does make contact, it also looks like Barry Bonds.
That's a fact, man. Since Nick and Jacob also picked Juan Soto, I guess I'll go ahead and go next. I picked a former teammate of Juan Soto's, Trey Turner. Last season, Trey Turner was only 2 homers away from a 30-30 season. He accumulated 3.5 B-WAR. He's now going to be setting the table for by far the deepest lineup in the league. He's a true 5-tool player, surprising pop, undeniable speed, and I think a full season in LA is going to put him in the spotlight, and I think he's just going to blow it out of the water. Freddie Freeman hitting behind him now, and Cody Bellinger hopefully hitting 9th if he's in the lineup. About as far away from Trey as you can possibly be.
Yeah, to be totally fair, Trey Turner is the guy I would have picked if Juan Soto didn't exist. He went to LA and like immediately his slugging just went through the roof. It was unreal.
And he hit like 340.
Yeah, and he'll be playing shortstop now, which I assume will only help his WAR defensively.
All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our dark horse. Kyle.
All right. My dark horse for NL MVP is Willy Adames.
Dang it, you picked mine too.
That was mine!
Did you guys all pick him?
Yeah, I thought I was.
I didn't. No, I did not. I did not pick Willy Adames.
I picked Willie.
Oh man.
Well, all right, we can all sing praise together. He basically, the story would be that we've seen him do it before, play at an MVP caliber level. Pretty much right when he was traded from the Rays to the Brewers, he just like a switch flipped. I have his OPS per month, and basically in May he was a completely different person. And I can see a world where if he leads the Brewers lineup to an NL Central division title, I can totally see the writers latching onto that. He's got the storyline because he was such a big part in their offense last year.
The pitching staff alone is going to bring the Brewers a lot of attention this year, and I think that's going to play to the story of Willie Adames if he can light it up on the big stage.
I would also like to point out, we have seen extended stints of Willie Adames being an absolutely elite level defender. He's really yet to put it together for an entire season, but just from watching him, he could win a Gold Glove. He could win many Gold Gloves.
And he's entering his age 26 season. Like what better time for him to put it all together for a full season than this year?
I think he likes playing in Milwaukee. I think he just flat out loves it.
I'd say so too. All right, Jacob, who'd you pick for the dark horse?
Another NL Central guy.
Tyler O'Neill.
It's Tyler O'Neill. Tyler O'Neill, guys, is so criminally underrated. It's not even funny. That hilarious graphic that came out on Twitter from MLB Network, they had him the 7th best left fielder in baseball. I couldn't find anything funnier if I tried, if my life depended on it. 912 OPS last year, won a Gold Glove. He's an excellent base runner, 4.7 BSR, in the echelon below like a Jose Ramirez, like we talked about earlier. 100th percentile in dynamic hard hit percentage, 78th percentile in line drive percentage, 97th percentile in barrel percentage. Hits the ball so hard. If we see Tyler O'Neill walk more and not even necessarily strike out less, and we just see him walk more, he's right there. Over 6 WAR last year, only walking 38 times. He's an absolute god. And honestly, if the pitching staff of the Brewers didn't exist, he might be the best player in the NL Central.
I'd love to see him get a little bit more recognition from like the public media this year. I think if he does put out a season like Jacob is alluding that he might, he absolutely deserves every bit of attention that he's going to get.
I would love to see a world this year where Willie Adames and Tyler O'Neill are the top 2 MVP candidates in the National League. I think that would be very fun.
Well, you know who's another guy that I'm surprised no one brought him up because I almost picked him is Ronald Acuna Jr.
So good.
He had the injury, but he's coming back first week of May is what they're saying. And I'm expecting a monstrous season from that guy. Totally capable of even out hitting and outplaying Juan Soto, I think, just because of that defense component that he also brings to the table. He's also like 23 or something crazy young like that. Baseball's in a good place.
Baseball's in a very good place, man.
I would like to have a quick disclaimer here. Just because we don't bring up a guy's name doesn't mean that we don't think they have a good chance at winning whatever award we're talking about. Listen, we're limited to 1 MVP pick and 1 dark horse pick. So there's just going to be guys that we don't get around to talking about.
Throw your suggestions for all of these awards down in the comments. We would love to hash it out and talk about why they're going to be great as well.
Even tweeted us at BaseballJuiceYT. We really hope that you guys enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. And please drop in the comments below who you guys picked for these awards. We'll catch you in the next video. See ya.
I wrote down a little joke. I said that he makes so much contact that he put lens crafters out of business.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
You felt the need to write that down, too.
I don't know. I have like a bunch of
love that.
stats and then just that stupid little sentence right there.
I love that.